You're not even supposed to be looking at the toilet when the seat is up. You're supposed to be looking at it when it's down. That's when you sit on it.
You left the toilet seat up. I wouldn't have seen it if you put the toilet seat back down.
I wanted you to see what I did for you. Like, so nice of me.
Like the way that a kind, gentle, if you're gonna put the seat up, then be courteous and put it back down. But you left it up.
For sure. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the No Chaser podcast. I'm Timothy De La Ghetto.
I'm Ricky Shucks.
And I'm Nikki Blades.
And today I have a lovely man here. I F with this man so much, bro.
Oh, you censoring?
I appreciate you. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm like a little bit for your introduction at least.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'm not gonna.
All right. Cool.
Because frig it, you know? Frig it.
Fudge that.
Oh, Lord.
I got my boy KevOnStage.
What up? What up? It's your boy.
You might as, you know
Oh
what I'm
my
saying?
God.
If you watch All Def Digital, if you're a fan of just like, you got a bunch of like family clips that just went viral just because you're a good dad.
I am a great father.
Man,
I am.
Not to brag, but
No, I mean,
Not
hey,
to brag.
man, I might not do everything great, but fatherhood, I am killing that.
You are
totally
for
killing it
real,
at fatherhood.
for real. Man, like your clips that like they go viral for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
And it's
like,
funny. I try so hard to make great content, and then just like messing with my kids, that goes crazy viral. And I'm like, fam, that ain't even. That's
like,
not
seriously.
even nothing.
So now I did a funny thing over
Right.
here. Y'all ain't see?
I remember one time a thing went viral. I tried to reply with a funny video. They was like, bro, don't nobody care.
where are your kids at?
we don't want to see your hour-long stand-up.
No.
Tell
That's
your
what
son his hairline is nice again.
That's all. That's what I tried. I was like, yo, check out the stand-up. Nah, fam, nobody care. So I deleted that and then put more pictures of my son. They're like, yes, this.
You're like, now I got to switch up my whole board.
Right. Oh, I almost pulled him out of school. Homeschool. Let's make viral content. every
Listen,
day.
Daddy's going to need you to be funny today.
Right.
We have to pay the bills now because of you.
Hilarious.
Well, what's up, Kev?
What up, man?
Thanks
Thank
for
you guys
stopping by.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be a part.
What you up to, bro?
I just came from throwing axes. Literally, my brother-in-law's birthday was out there, and my sister-in-law's all about adventure and new activities and fun stuff. So I literally came from throwing axes here, and I haven't had that much fun in like a long time.
Oh, cause so when you told me, like you couldn't, you know, you had to come later because you had to ask something. I thought you were just curious about.
That was stupid.
I saw it
I'm
coming
definitely down because I got to ask.
And I went. I was like, I walked right into that. I walked right into that.
Yo, no, but throwing axes is mad fun.
It was
Yeah,
super
some
fun,
white
man.
people shit is cool.
Yes,
I've
yes.
never done that.
You're
Do it.
missing out, Nikki.
Really? I
Yes.
just never would think, like, today I'm going to throw an axe.
No, it's dope.
Yes. Well, it's more like I don't want to go bowling and like it's the same activities over and over. I want to do something different.
I feel like I'm going to have to do it now and record it.
You
have
have
to
to.
do
It is so fun.
You go to the batting cages,
I'm a softball player.
you'll like throwing axes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
It's especially since like, okay, we've all swung a baseball bat, right? But it's like, who's just throwing an axe? You
Yeah.
feel me?
Yeah.
So
Imagine
when you
there was
go,
a knife on the end of that.
Sold.
Yeah,
I'm sold. I'm gonna go figure
just-
out. Do they do that up north? Like, do I have to come to LA to do
Nah,
it?
nah, nah. It's all over the place. Different names.
Do I Google axe throwing?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's so frustrating at first, right?
Right.
Because especially since you walk in, there's people who've been doing it for like 2 hours, so they hitting the bullseye
Right,
and shit.
right.
And then so you're in there, you think, and then it's just. Dunk.
Oh yeah.
the back of the axe and shit.
It definitely looks a lot easier than it is.
So
Yeah.
2 hands or 1 hand?
2 hands.
Two
Two.
hands. Wow.
hands.
Yeah,
so
they
these are heavy.
recommend two. Well, I was throwing.
They let me do one-handed.
Yeah, well,
Show
you throwing
off.
when I went, I was throwing hatchets, so they were smaller, so you could one hand
Oh
if you
no,
wanted
Yeah.
to.
They only
They
gave
said
me axe.
he looked like he needed this one.
Get him the hatchet.
He said, if this is what he's throwing, we're giving him this one.
They came over with an axe. Like, ooh,
Ooh, you know what? I'm not really. Is this too heavy for
Them
you,
just throwing
sir?
butter knives.
sorry about that. Butter
We have a special stash
Hey,
for
at least
you.
they ain't give you ninja stars.
Yeah, true. This is true. I was up there like Thor, like I got it.
That first time you hit it though, you feel like a
Bro,
man.
even if it's nowhere near the bullseye.
Don't matter.
Yeah.
You hit that wood. I want to chop a tree down. I want to shoot a shotgun, tackle
I have
an eagle.
to do this now.
Yeah.
Go do it. LAX.
Sold.
LAX.
Yeah.
Sold. Oh wait, it's LAX.
LAX.
Wow.
It was
What a
confusing
name.
Google Maps like crazy. Like, you mean no, not the airport. L.A.
Can you
space.
imagine?
X.
Like, bro, you can't spell LAX.
I'm gonna get in the Uber and be like, "Can you please take me to LAX?" They're like, "What? LAX?"
He's like, what are you curious about? You
LAX.
trying to
I'm like, yo, I'm tired. Where's she from?
Is that a website where you find out what to do in LA?
Right.
LAX.
Right.
So Kev, I know you from ADD.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You've been on ADD for a long time.
Yes.
And I just come to find out you're not on ADD anymore.
Well, I'm still on ADD content. I just don't work for ADD anymore. Yeah.
Why? What's the beef? Doughboy rubbed you the wrong way.
No.
Tim, just want all the tea spilled.
And Doughboy rubbed you the right way and y'all got caught.
See, it's been a tough time.
You got caught.
No, Doughboy didn't rub me either way, wrong or right. I went on tour last year and I had a blast. I had a lot of fun, made a good amount of money, but it was super taxing to like work full time and tour and try to be a father. And I realized I could tour, I could be a good father, husband, and I could work at ADD.
Word.
All right, 2 of those things I could do well. I could not do all 3 things well. So I just chose to tour and be a family man and then work with ADD for content and stuff, but not go in every day. Because I'd be flying back from, like Toronto
Right.
on Monday morning and like go from the airport and then go to work all day.
Okay, so that's still fam. You just not the obligated things you got to do.
Yeah, but
He's
I'll
a
still make
private contractor
content.
now.
Yeah, basically the same thing as you. Basically, when y'all need me, I'll pull up. I don't work there, but if y'all need me for a video and I'm free, I'll pull up and shoot Great Taste or Roast Me or whatever like that.
Okay, I feel you.
Yeah, but like every single day, like what are we gonna do today? What's the trending topic? Stuff like that.
It's a lot.
It was too much.
So man, when I asked Instagram and Twitter if they had questions for you, I got a lot of like religion, God related questions.
Yeah.
So like you put that, like people know you for that, right?
Right.
Okay, so do they ever give you like issues with like, oh, you working at ADD and they got these like booty rubbing videos? How you gonna say you this and this
Early
and that?
ADD, it was because I do clean content. I'm not necessarily like I only talk about church and stuff, but I don't cuss in any of my videos that I post on my channel. You wouldn't hear any cussing. Even if people cuss, I edit it out. But on ADD, it's literally the exact opposite. And especially early ADD, we were literally doing like, is it true black girls have the biggest butts? And we like blindfold somebody and they would like touch various butts of different races and they try to guess.
That was the one time I hit you up like, hey man,
noticing some of the things y'all been doing.
try to do what it is.
No, I with the butts. Like so many people like the butt video. More of those possibly.
I was also mad I couldn't be a part of that video because it was like, what I'm saying, I was
Yeah, I was single at the time.
I was not.
He was like, so
Sir?
what is this? Hi,
Sir?
I'm available.
Would you happen to be doing one for boobs?
We did that too. We did that. Is it true? You could guess which boobs were fake or real.
Right.
And we had literally dudes and we had girls. Do black guys have the biggest meat? And they were literally grabbing like ball, like literally blindfold
Just
and
hand in ball.
Just-
like hand cupping
over
bulge.
the jeans
Just
or basketball
Not
shorts.
like that.
that was.
I don't know what you were grabbing.
This is what I
That was a bop it. She was-
Listen, if I envisioned it looking like a lot
Cup it.
more. See, clearly I don't know what I'm doing.
I remember watching that video and feeling proud because the Asian dude was like represented.
He held it
was like,
down.
the girls that were feeling on the Asian dude were like, I think this is a white guy. I'm like, okay, cool. As long as the immediate thought wasn't, oh, this has to be an Asian guy. I was like, yes,
They're like,
hold it down,
doesn't
my
have
brothers.
to be a black guy, but doesn't have to be immediately Asian. Yeah,
Right, right.
Yeah,
And the
anything
black
in
guy
between.
he didn't hold it down for the blacks.
So do people ever give you malarkey because of that?
You know what? I did get a lot of that at first, but then like a lot of my true or truly religious fans, they just didn't come over to ADD to watch content.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, the people who like ADD content, they was like, bro, I don't even care. Like I like this stuff anyway. It doesn't really matter. And the truly saved people wasn't really watching that. But when they first heard, oh, you're gonna be over there and it's Russell Simmons content, it's dirty and blah blah blah. But I mean, we live in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when I went to high school, bro, it was just as bad as that.
Right.
College,
Worse.
middle school,
yeah.
everybody around you doesn't have the same viewpoints as you. So you got to find a way to exist in the world and, let your light shine and, all that type of stuff. You can't just be like, I'm going to change the whole world
Right.
and you can't cuss around me. Like that wasn't my company.
Bro, I feel like I went to a Catholic high school for a year and I feel like It was worse than a public.
Oh yeah, I've heard that religious high schools they be going ham. Bro, high school period, your hormones are going nuts. God or not, you're like, bro, I heard all that Bible stuff, but that ain't got nothing going on with, you know what I mean? I was in high school wilding out, too.
Oh, you was
Wilding
out
was that when you was in high school?
been around for a long time, so you don't know about him.
So while we're on that same token, one of the questions on Twitter was this guy named JT_18 asks, how do you manage to have an active sex life with children, and have they ever caught y'all?
Oh man, so really easy to have an active sex life with children because they
please put me on game, because that might be my future soon. You feel me?
So when they're very young, babies, they sleep hard, or if they're not, they don't really know what's happening.
Yeah.
They're looking around. It's kind of, they don't have object permanence.
Yeah.
They don't really know what's.
So you just do it right in front of them.
I don't care. When we were young, first kid,
How you think you got here?
slide my
trying
baby
to give
over.
you a
Slide my baby.
I don't need the whole bed. You just, bro, I'm gonna tuck you at
With
the
the
top.
baby in the bed,
Put the
baby.
pacifier.
Or go to sleep.
My first son, he had a little, not even like a crib, but like a mini crib, and we just sat that next to our bed. You know, did what we did. You know what I'm saying? That's how he got here. Like Rick said, I mean, shoot. As they get older, I mean, your kids go to bed before you do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Especially when they're really young, they go to bed at 8, you know, whatever. So sitting on the bed. The other part of this question, have they ever caught me? So true story, funny story. I used to do this on my set, but I do too many churches to do this joke now. But this is a true story.
This is a safe space.
I was in the act, mid-act with my lovely wife, right? My son, who was maybe 3 or 4 at the time, probably 3, barely 3. He had the Incredibles, not the Incredibles, the Cars. He had a Cars, transformable car. It went from a car to a plane, right? And he used to just go car, plane. So one night he stumbles in half asleep, like he doesn't know what's going on. He's like, and I'm in the act, and I didn't hear him come in.
Yeah.
So he's like walked all the way in around to my side of the bed, and I'm not paying attention. I didn't hear the door open. There was no light. I don't know what he saw or how he saw, but he goes there. He taps me, and he's like taps me on the arm. And it's like, Daddy, could you fix this?
Yeah.
So I don't stop.
Right.
Okay? Because at this part in my relationship, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like when you get in there, come hell or high water, you're not finna stop.
like,
Take advantage of that situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One hand, I turn this car
Into a
from
plane.
a car into a plane.
Rubik's Cube.
I slow down, but I don't stop.
Yeah.
Hand it back to him. Good night. Love you. He walks back out of the room and goes back to bed, and I never actually stopped.
Amazing.
All the way. So
One day he's
That's
gonna
how it's
tell
done.
everybody. I remember going into my dad's room.
Yeah.
And I don't know what him and mommy were doing, but
No.
he was able to fix my plane with one hand.
and that's better be the thing he says. Like he's an
He fixed
amazing
it
father.
with one hand.
He's gonna be watching Cars one day, or planes, and be like,
Oh my God!
That's what was happening.
Just thinking
He just
like
gonna
he gets
throw it.
older, somebody's like, you remember them cars stores that used to church and play? Yeah, I have one.
It's just like a repressed memory.
Yeah.
He's
That's
gonna
why
wake up in a
he
cold
used
sweat.
one hand. What was the other hand doing?
he's just gonna find the toy one day and be playing with it like, just throw it across the room.
Or you just see him, he's like practicing trying to transform it with one hand. He's like, look what Dad was doing. And I'm just trying to
I think
be
you
like
gotta do
Dad.
this. When you do this, it goes back.
Dad has to dance and transform the plane in order for it to work with one hand.
And you got how many babies now?
2 boys, 12 and 10.
That's great. 12. That's a whole 6th grader.
He's a
sixth and
7th
fourth.
grader.
Wow.
7th and 5th.
Smarter
That's
than you.
grown.
They are up there.
Wow.
They are definitely up there.
Wow. How's that?
You know, it's crazy. Like you go from like when they're babies, they literally are completely useless.
Yeah.
They do nothing, add no value to your life. They just are like, man, there's too much time. They're crying. You're just like, man, what this ain't cool.
Like, why?
That first 3 months, you just be like, whew, this was, man, ain't nobody really tell me like that. Like, man. And the thing is, like, sex doesn't take long.
Yeah.
But the baby, like that first like month,
Yeah.
I was just like, man, this is tough. And I wanted kids, and I was like, man, but now my sons are funny. They're sarcastic. Like when they picked up sarcasm, life really started to be like, okay, this is great. Like the biggest parts of my life with them, when they picked up sarcasm, they became funny, and they started being able to watch action movies. I was like, now they be hitting me like, did you see the new Spider-Man trailer? Right. Far From Home came out. When are we seeing that? Avengers trailer came out. So like now we can like share some stuff together, and that's super dope. But yeah, my oldest son's super fun. My youngest son's super athletic, so I play sports with him. So it's interesting to see how, like, the crazy thing is how well developed the personalities are at a very young age.
See, that's crazy, man, because I remember even just talking to like my boy's little sister, right? And remembering when she was like 4, just talking gibberish. Yeah. And it's like talking to this person is like, it's just whatever you say is just repeating back to you, right? Like a parrot. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, they start to form opinions and have like real sentences and shit. And it's like, this is weird.
My niece, she is 3. And she was telling her mom that Santa was going to beat her sister's ass. Santa is going to beat her ass. And I was like, what'd she just say? And she kept saying, and my sister was recording her. And I was like, did Bria just say Santa was going to beat Mia's ass 3 times?
Wow.
She was like, I didn't know if I was supposed to stop her right away because it was too funny. And then she goes, I don't know if I should post this, but I'm gonna send it to you. Because we can laugh about the fact that I'm gonna let my kid say ass 3 times, and Santa's beating her sister's ass.
That's a crazy origin story.
So Santa is going to beat her ass.
Well, why? What'd she do?
Mia was being bad, and she was asking,
so he's
like,
not just gonna not bring coal.
No, Santa going to beat her ass.
Hands.
She did something crazy.
And she said it again, and my sister was like, why? She just been bad, mommy.
And he got a big belt.
She's gonna beat her ass. I was like, oh, I want to post this so bad. She goes, I'm laughing in the background. People are gonna call me a bad mom. Please don't. But don't ask her to say that again.
Right.
Because I told her she can't say it, but we're saving it.
That's funny.
That's crazy, man. Babies are weird.
Babies are weird. And when they're first born, they're gross.
Yeah.
Like when you see movies and TV, you like, oh, they're so cute, man. I saw my wife with my seconds on the C-section, and I was like, fam.
Are you a C-section baby?
No, I was actually born at my grandma's house.
Word?
Yeah, they kept going back and forth to the hospital, and my mom went into like full labor, and she was too far along in labor to travel this time. So I was literally born in my grandma's house.
See, I thought you were because I'm a C-section baby.
Really?
And I feel like that's why I got such a round ass head. And I saw your head, and I was like,
I thought you were gonna say because it's big. Like there's just no way that passed through a vaginal canal.
No, true.
And it remained intact.
I have a giant round head, so I was like, maybe Kev is a C-section baby like me.
No, my mom just had a longer.
What? Did nobody tell me this?
No, because I feel like when you get squeezed through, you know what I'm saying? It's your head doesn't come out as round.
I'm waiting for the Rick nose.
I mean, it makes no sense at all, but
it does make sense. What you mean?
I'm ready for the Rick nose.
It makes perfect sense.
All babies' shoulders are wider than their heads. If shoulders could come out, big heads could come out.
No, I mean,
Rick nose. Can we please get something that says that?
Rick.
Rick knows.
But they're like this at the time. But you're right. The shoulders
it's
are wider,
still wider no matter what you do.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I guess.
Rick
No, but still, no, because look, let's think about it. Let's think about it. The shoulders come after the head, so it's like if the head's coming through, the head's getting squeezed. You feel me?
You saying vaginas make heads small?
I'm saying my head is rounder
exactly
because
what
I didn't have to get squeezed through a vagina. Yes.
That's funny. I
think we have to do
okay, so here's what supports his argument. Because babies' heads are super soft.
And they're malleable.
My head came out like with a mild Gumby because I came out and went back in and they had to push.
Hold on, you peeked out and was like, I ain't ready.
Because I knew this well was fucked up. I was like, nope. I went back in, so they had to push. And as they're pushing, they kind of just like unevened me.
Really?
And then my mom had to massage the back of my head down all the time.
Yeah.
But that still doesn't make sense.
I said all that to say you still don't make sense.
I mean, look.
Yes, okay.
And this is fresh.
But it's lumpy.
You got people right now doing this.
Mom. John Legend's baby has one of those baby like shaping helmets.
My dad,
his head, his baby. Chrissy Teigen just tweeted it.
Yeah, my dad always tells my mom, "You were real lazy with the second one because her head's flat."
You do be lazy with the second kid, though, bruh.
Really?
Oh my God, you be taking I took like 500 pictures of my first son, second son. Like, like you've done it already. You know what I mean? You're not
as excited.
Everything you're worried about, you're not as worried about. Like the car seat, you're like, he might be in here.
I don't even know this nigga's in here.
Yeah,
you was about to tell us a story. Birth.
Oh yeah, so my wife's having a C-section.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about how you see babies in TV and film and versus like real life. So they're having a C-section. First, I thought they'd have a scalpel, but they had like almost a small blowtorch. So they when they cut my wife open, it was like little like
like a laser.
Like a laser.
Yeah.
It was like a laser. So they use a laser. You can smell like burning flesh. Off the rip.
And she's awake?
She's awake. Yeah. She's under anesthesia.
Was there the curtain?
There's a curtain.
Okay.
So she can't see, but I can see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they do that, and I'm like, whoa. Then like the amount of blood. Then they put like clamps in and open the incision, and they just like, and it's like working on a car almost. Like it's weird. Then they get a bucket of water and just pour it in.
What?
Really?
Bruh, I'm like, fam, does anybody know what's happening here? Because this is wild. So the thing that was crazy is the head doctor literally like poking around trying to pull the baby out. And she's talking about, she's remodeling her kitchen this weekend. She's like literally talking about, so I was going to go with, like a Spanish tile, but, I think the Italian marble looks better. And I'm like, yo, pay attention. Like my first thought is like, fam, this is not the time to talk about your DIY project.
And it's her 4th C-section of the day.
Right. And that was my next thought. I was like, if she's talking about tiling, she's probably not worried about this. She's done this so many times. Like maybe I should trip. Because it's like driving. Like I'm really focused on the road. I've done it so many times. So she literally just pulls the baby out. Baby's crying, cut the umbilical cord, and they like sew my wife back up. Babies are freaking gross, disgusting, purple, like misshapen, like it's gross,
slimy.
It was just, they don't even really hand them to you right away because usually in the movies like, oh, here he is.
They
gotta like give him a bath. It's that first cry is gross.
Put makeup on them.
Oh, it's just there's so much stuff that you are not prepared to see all at once.
I feel like that bucket of water, like the baby's just like,
what?
What's this?
It's gotta be cold too. Like you've been in a warm like cocoon for 9 months. And I feel like somebody just pulled the cover off of you in the middle of winter and you're outside.
Yeah, you're like, what is this?
Right. And they're like breathing air for the first time. It's a lot to ask.
It's so weird.
It's a lot to ask. So it's not beautiful in that sense. Like life being created is beautiful, but like the optics.
Yeah.
The optics are.
Aesthetic is not nice.
Aesthetic is gross,
Did you cry?
man.
Have either of you seen like
a live birth?
I have. Like I watched my best friend have a baby.
No,
and it
really?
was
natural.
It was natural.
I mean, vaginal.
Yes, and I cried, which I wasn't expecting. But also, it was one of those things where it was like it had like the labor portion was really long, and I was just like, what's going on? And the baby coming out was one of those that I looked at myself and I said, well, you're not doing that anytime soon.
Right. Yeah.
Like
scary.
And she was just not feeling well after she threw up. Like just the after process of it had me go, not today.
Yeah. let me re-up on these birth control pills.
You know what I'm saying? Right. I made sure after.
Let me get a year's supply.
You know what I was like, that's not for me. I didn't get the feeling of, oh, I want to be a mother. I went, oh, hell no.
But every mother I hear is like, yo, I would do it again 100%.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'll get that feeling one day.
I be talking to different mothers then.
Right. I literally get told all the time, wait. I'm older and everybody else around me already had their kids. My sister has 2. My youngest brother has 1. And part of me goes, is it wrong that I don't want to have a baby?
Nope.
It's not wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
We try to shame people for not having. Bro, it's the biggest financial and time consuming thing you can do.
Right.
I think you should do it when you're ready.
Yeah.
Like you should not let society tell you should have kids.
My parents,
or never. And there's nothing wrong with not wanting kids.
My parents are really dope about that.
Yes.
They had a conversation one day and they were like, if you don't want to have them, we don't care.
There's enough kids in the world.
My parents said
kids.
we don't care if you don't have kids, and I was like, all the pressure that I had just like went off, and I was like, cool.
Man, let me tell you, when I was with Chia I feel like once it was they realized it was a real relationship, they were like, give us a baby. They were like, you don't
before
even
marriage.
They were like, don't even get married. Give us a grandchild now. They were like, we don't care if you get married. Just give us a grandchild.
Thank God for siblings.
You have this ability. You want one so bad.
My sister and brother saved me because I was like, listen, mom and dad, it's not happening anytime. It's not even in my 5-year plan. So are you guys
really?
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, you know, when my sister had her daughter, it was one of those, I felt some type of way. I really did. I was like, ooh, I felt pressure.
Yeah.
But my parents really were like, you need to work on being nicer. So if you have, I was told, my parents said that they feel bad for my unborn child.
Yeah, right.
They were like,
Can you be a good person before you start making people?
Nick,
How about
Before you make a person.
Do you know what I mean? They're like, we love you. But
your kid
you're
won't.
kind of they're like you're kind of like a coach, and you know, I don't know if you can be you already yell at your nieces.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they were like, you
really
don't
are making a person.
They're like, are you ready?
Crazy.
They're like, you don't even like your dog all the time, so why are you going to? No.
Kids are a very final decision.
Yeah.
Like you're a parent for whatever, however. Once you have kids, you're a parent forever. Kids 55, I'm still their dad.
True. Yeah.
75, if I'm still alive, still their dad.
Damn.
Don't
It's
ever
like
disrespect.
I always say,
I don't care.
children ain't worth it.
And Rick knows.
Words of the wise.
Words from Rick knows.
You trying to have any more?
No, absolutely not. Now that my kids are older and we can leave them at home alone for a little while, they're so like, bruh, if the house has food, if the Wi-Fi's on, they won't even come out of their room for hours. Wi-Fi off, they're like, oh, what's going on? What is this?
What year is it?
Is the world coming to an end?
They only talk to me if the Wi-Fi is off.
Jeez. How do you feel about like parent shaming? I feel like a lot of parents are super judgmental about how other people parent.
You know what? I get that. I got that before I had kids. Like especially in Black culture, like your kid's bad, right? So I thought you could like, if you're a good parent, you'll have good children. My youngest son came into the world pissed. He's just like, I don't even like it. I don't like y'all. I ain't gonna do what y'all think I'm supposed to do. And
Rightfully so.
I'll take the punishment.
Really?
And to this day, he will take the punishment. Like,
Damn.
if he don't want to eat what's for dinner, my wife be like, go to bed. I'll go to bed.
Good night.
6 o'clock, I'll take it. And he'll just eat it. Stomach growling, yeah. But I did it on my terms. Wake up starving. But so he's a G for that. When he was a kid, he was a terror. Yeah. He would like terrorize his older brother. He would steal stuff like, this is his gum. He'll take it, right? And then when you take it back, he'll spit at you.
Oh my God.
Like he was like me. Like he was wild. So he was always like that. And I was like, bro, like my oldest son was super mild mannered. He was chill.
Yeah.
He was a good baby. He ate all the food, like went to bed. My youngest son was the anti version of that.
Right.
And we didn't change our parenting style at all. So I realized some of it is just kids be one way.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can really shame them because we just discount how much personality children have. And like he would not let me kiss him or hug him. There's videos of him when he was like 2, like, get off me, no daddy, no kiss, like pushing me, slapping at me.
Damn.
Like I'm just like, fam, I'm in your life. First of all, as a Black man, you should be thankful.
You don't know this yet, but listen.
Right. We got this. Everybody in this house got the same last name.
Right.
Off the rip. You should be thankful, but he didn't know the stereotype.
Nah, I know what it is.
Right.
You just proved to me that there's heaven. See, he was in heaven before he came down here watching y'all not give a fuck. He saw how much you cared about the first one. And he's like, oh, that's how they gonna do me? You having a little wine, mom? Oh, okay. Did he just elbow her in the stomach on accident? Okay, fuck you. That's what it is. Okay, well now I know heaven is real.
Right. So hilarious.
Speaking of religion,
parent shaming, I think it's every single child in the world is different. So,
well, speaking of religion, we got a question.
Yeah.
From Monica Chrisan,
okay.
who says, what are your thoughts on progressive Christianity? what are your thoughts on Christian comedian Pete Holmes and cursing?
I didn't know Pete Holmes was a Christian comedian.
I didn't know either. I'd never heard of him. I don't know what progressive Christianity is.
What is
To be honest, it's the first time I've heard that term.
But gauging off her question, I guess it's like Christianity where they are allowed to cuss and stuff, and it's not a big deal.
Here's my answer.
Here's your answer.
Right, and actually having kids helped me with this a lot. So I have 2 boys, same household, same parents, same everything, and I cannot encourage them the same, and I cannot punish them the same. They're totally different kids. What works for one doesn't work for the other. So if we all 4 are Christians, we're gonna have different things that bother us, right? So when I was younger, I grew up very conservative. We couldn't listen to like literally any music that wasn't gospel was the devil.
Oh,
Even like Will Smith, Just the Two of Us.
Wow.
And I asked my dad, I was like, Dad, like just listen to this song before you get mad.
Yeah.
How is this devil music? It's a dad talking about his son and their love. And I don't want to hear it. It ain't gospel. It ain't, like, so I grew up like that. And, listening to only radio hits. And then as I got older, I was like, actually, true story. I didn't start listening or purchasing music that had cussing in it until maybe 4 years ago.
Wow.
Like Good Kid, Mad City. I bought the clean version. I was like, I will listen to rap, but it would be a little cleaner than
from Walmart.
Yeah, from Walmart. Watch the Throne edited version. Like, I think Chance the Rapper Coloring Book might be the first rap album that I got that I was just like, Chance probably ain't cussing that much.
Nah.
So
it's gospel.
That was damn near
gospel.
it's gospel. He's a gospel rapper that cusses, right?
Yeah.
So Chance might be what you call a progressive Christian, right? Because he literally was on his live just reading the Bible straight like Galatians.
Yeah.
Like I'm just finna read Galatians to all his
Who
fans.
reads out of all the books?
So I was
Who
like,
reads Galatians?
Chance, Galatians? Like,
Yeah.
man, you got Psalms, you got Matthew. So to make the answer shorter, I think it is unreasonable to expect every Christian to have the same relationship.
Right.
Paul talks about this, like what offends me may not offend you.
Yeah.
What offends Rick may not offend Nikki. I used to never drink. Ever. I used to think you were a sinner if you drank till I found out my grandma, who was like the Christianest person ever, I found a bottle of wine behind her fridge. I was like, hold up.
Oh man, look.
Everything
Hold
just came
up.
crashing down.
Even Jesus was like, hey, keep the party going. Turn the water to wine. Let's do it.
He said,
So they're like, well, that's not fermented. Like, nah, bro, they said wine.
this is wine.
Because they were talking about not getting drunk. So they wouldn't have to specify don't get drunk if that wasn't real wine. Like they was drinking wine.
Right.
But there's a lot of people who can have a drink or 2 or 3,
Right.
but they're not getting drunk and like destroying their family. And there's some people, Christian or not, who probably shouldn't drink because they lose complete control. So I think it's more about your relationship with God and trying, like Paul also talks about this. Like basically he said in plain English, it's hard enough for everybody to keep to their own stuff.
Right.
Like your own version of your relationship with God. So work on that first before I try to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. Like make sure you can keep your stuff straight before you do that.
I mean, Jesus said the same thing. Like, stop telling me about the little
The
speck in my eye when you got a splinter in your own eye.
Look at Tim.
it's now
Starting the church.
Tim knows.
Yeah.
No, look, hey, I went to Christian school for 10 years. Bro.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I did. And let me tell you something. My Christian teacher, my Bible teacher specifically at that school, she asked me, okay, look, let me tell you what happened.
He was already telling already. Yeah, let me just.
But let me put emphasis on what I'm about
On
to
the
do.
subject of progressive Christianity, I had just watched an MTV special about these young people who were grew up in the church, but they were gay. And they were struggling because they were like, I love God, but I'm gay. What do I do? Right? So I'm watching this special. I'm like, wow, I sympathize with. I feel bad for these dudes. Right. So then I asked my Bible teacher. I was like, and somebody had just asked her that day, because in Catholicism, technically divorce is a sin, right?
Yep.
So somebody asked her, what's up with that? Like, divorce is a sin. Well, my parents just got divorced. What's up with that?
Right.
And she said something like, well, you know what? The times are different now. God understands.
Right.
So I was like, okay, well, hey, let me ask you something.
Keeping that same energy.
Let me ask you something. I was helping her tidy up the classroom. All the kids were gone. I was like, let me ask you something. For these kids now that are growing up in a society where homosexuality is a little more accepted, right?
Yep.
What about these people that believe in God and they love God and they're growing up in this society where they're telling them, you know what? Being gay might be okay.
Right.
I asked her and she was like, no. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I was like, all right, fair enough. I kept helping her clean the class. She came up to me and she was like, Tim, are you having an identity crisis? I'm gay. Oh wait, take her name out. I was like, teacher, I'm not gay. I'm just curious.
Are you bi-curious?
And we knew that.
That's great timing. But
I was like,
even
no,
the inflection was good.
I'm just wondering. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, to go off what you said. I mean, I forgot what you were saying, but yeah.
I was just talking about how it's impossible to govern every single person by the same rule.
Right.
Because even now, here's the silly thing, right? The same time I was uncomfortable listening to rap music with cussing, movies with cussing and sex, no problem.
Right.
Game of Thrones at the same time. Game of Thrones was infinitely worse than Good Kid, Mad City. I mean, sex, incest, like literally everything. I was like, I love it. Give me all of it. I like literally first episode, the Lannisters are having sex.
Incest,
He pushes this kid out the window. I was like,
spoiler alert.
Right. No spoiler alert. That show been out 8 years. You should know by now.
Spoiler alert for who?
Right. There's a year is plenty of time.
Right.
But yeah, so even within myself, like, and I talk about this all the time, like, how could I get mad at somebody else for something they can't do when I tell myself I'm gonna eat right and I'm gonna work out? I promise this year is different, bro. I've been saying that for my life, and I don't even be keeping with myself. So I take that idea into other parts of Christianity. You know what I mean? Like, people have their different walks, what bothers them, their relationship with God. It's hard for me to police that.
Right.
I think more people need to share what you just said. So I grew up in a non-religious household. Pretty much I was told I can go to whatever church I want to go to. I've definitely explored different religions. My parents never really pushed it on us because they wanted us to find out for ourselves. And what I learned throughout that, a lot of it is similar.
Yeah.
But what I also dealt with, and I played travel ball, and our coach was very religious. So on Sundays we prayed and we did all that. And when I watched his behavior, I was like, I don't get it. You act wrong. Yeah. Like, what you're doing to me is like, you're super judgmental.
Yeah.
You're, like a lot of these things that had a negative connotation around it. And I was like, but you're sitting here making me pray with you, but now I'm super confused.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel what you just explained made it more comfortable, because I feel like a lot of times with religion, it's a lot of blame. It's a lot. It's very negative, and I've always felt like, oh man, if I go, and I've had experiences where I've gone to the church and I was like, oh, okay, I understand it, but I hated feeling judged by those that I knew were doing wrong as well.
Well, here's the thing. So the word Christian literally means, the Latin "in" means to be like. So to be like Christ is what it means. Jesus is Christ, right? Even in the Bible, Jesus was considered like wild with his love, like ideas, right? So there was the idea of you can do what is lawful and you could do what is good, right? So there's a story in the Bible about the adulterous woman, like she got caught having sex, adultery, red-handed, and they catch Jesus up there like, yo, my man, you know what I'm saying? I like to make people talk like today. Like, hey, Jesus, let me holler at you, playboy. You're a girl out here having sex straight up. They think they caught him in a trap, straight up. Having adultery, the law says to stone her to death, right? So what you finna say, So he sits down, he draws his finger in the sand. He's like, well, he who is without sin cast the first stone, right? So he did what was good, not what was lawfully right. So, and Jesus did that in the Bible time and time again, when the lawful Christians were more like, just like you said, we're judging, we're attacking. Like, a lot of times Christians, we want to throw the Bible at you, right? I want you to love Jesus, take it now. Not like, hey man, let me tell you about, like, they'll know the Bible. Jesus literally says they will know you through your love, right? I never hit Tim up like, man, you come to church, Tim, come to church, Tim, come to church, come to church, Tim, Rick. Like, I've dapped them up out like countless times, but they follow me on the gram. Like, you'll see my light in how I live. You see me on the gram, you see with my kids, like, that's probably more effective than sitting down, Tim, you and Chi, and y'all ain't married, y'all are shacking up, and you've been going to Canada, and what you been doing? You been going to church with her? What have you been doing? And Rick, I see you had a girlfriend in an open relationship and closed relationship, and this and that. And Nikki, zip your jacket up, because I done seen some things I shouldn't be seeing, and I don't want to see it. Like, how far would I get in any relationship with any of you if that's how I approach your life?
Exactly.
And that's how Christians want us to be. They want us to go beating them around. And then what happens is the moment I have my own mistake, then people like you catch me, and now it's like, well, look at him, he's a hypocrite. So I just don't even play it like that, because I'm still working on me, and we're all still working on our relationship. So if Tim ever comes, and this has happened in my life, if Tim ever comes to me like, yo, I want to learn more about, like, you went to Christian school, so maybe not you, but anybody that I rock with is like, yo, could you pray for me? People just hit me up, can you pray for me? One time, and that's it. You know what I mean? So I feel like I'm more available because I've been that person, as opposed to like berating everybody I come in. Then nobody really like, man, your boy Kev be tripping, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like vegans. I'm sorry. It's like vegans.
Same thing.
It's like vegans.
Right.
They are really, really preachy.
Right.
And I'm like, please let me eat this in peace. I don't need to hear about it every time I decide to eat something. I get it. I understand what you're saying, but stop yelling at me.
Right. When you think about a vegan, like there's some who are cool, that look healthy, and what happens? People are like, "Hey, man, what's up with that stuff?"
What have you been doing?
Yes,
I think that's the most powerful thing you can do. Instead of like you said, you know what I'm saying? Instead of like preaching at somebody,
live your life.
Live your life. Lead by example.
Yes.
Because if anything, people will see that in you and be like, "Yo, I'm trying to do that.
I'm trying to be whatever my man is on." You know what I'm saying? Like
people gotta chill. I got put off of religion in the first grade.
That's
in
early.
the first grade, and I held a grudge, right? Because my father's side of the family is Catholic. My mother claims Christian,
right?
Like gangs, right?
Christian over here, Cass.
My dad, he went to Catholic school his whole life. He went to an all-boy high school. My sister went to an all-girl high school. He put me in a Catholic school as a first grader. But my mom was like, "You not Catholic though." She made sure to tell me that, right? So I'm already kind of like, what is going on? Why
a little confusing,
right? Yeah. So I would have to tell the people at the school, I'm not Catholic. But every Wednesday we would have to attend mass. And they would give the wafer and the grape juice.
Right.
And they wouldn't let me take the wafer and the grape juice.
You gotta do this.
Yeah, because I wasn't Catholic. So I would have to stand on the wall while everybody gets in line to get a wafer and some grape juice.
And you was hungry.
No, I just wanted the wafer. It looked good.
I want the snack.
I never got it. I thought it was like sweet and like later I just took one. But I was like, man, how you just gonna discriminate against me?
That's
like
the
that?
silly part, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what like kind of like made me think too, right? Because I feel like if we're all believing in the same God, then what's the beef? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I remember being at home when I was getting babysat and seeing a commercial for the Mormon Bible.
Yeah.
And then thinking like, if this is the word of God and they got new books, then what is the word of God?
Exactly.
It's a second edition.
It's so confusing.
So I was confused. I'm like, okay, so we're all looking at the same God, but they got different words of God. What's happening?
Yeah.
You know what
It's
I'm
like,
saying?
wait, God's still writing?
Who is trans? I was really confused because you know, like how you were put off in the first grade. I was pretty much told that basically it's all the same, but not the same. And a lot of the people that go are very judgmental. And I got this too when my best friend, so we're talking about that coach, right?
Yeah.
He would take my best friend and try to, come to church. He would treat her like the pity party. Okay? He would take her shopping after they would go to church. So my friend came from a bigger family. She had a lot of siblings. We were both, her and I grew up. We didn't have a lot of money. We were playing on the team. My dad was cooking. We all had scholarships pretty much to play on the team.
Right.
But he would take her shopping after she would go to church. And I was like, so wait, if you go to church, you get dinner and you get to go shopping. And then I started looking at her and I started judging her because I was going, wait, so are you only going to get fed?
God was the sugar daddy.
I was like, so I was like, if I go with you, we get to go to Olive Garden after? Like, I'll go to church if I get to
You
have some
holding out,
olive.
fam.
Right? I was like, I want to go shopping. Why are you taking her shopping? But I always thought it was like a manipulation thing. I'm going to somehow bribe you to come do this. And I felt as though it really shaped her into being something that she fights with all the time.
Right.
I watch her fight with what she likes and her thoughts and just in general because it goes against her religion.
Yeah.
And it's a sad struggle to watch, but I feel if somebody explained it to me like this, it would be easier. She called me one day. She was like, you need to go to church. I said, why? She goes, because I want to see you in heaven. And I said,
oh God.
It's a lot of pressure.
I was like, I just saw what you just sent me. That meme, you ain't going either.
Right.
Like, we both gonna be at the same place. You can keep going, but I'll see you there too. Okay.
See, that's why I appreciate your mindset,
Yeah.
man, because I feel like at the end of the day, you know, it really is about like just working on yourself, working
Yeah.
on your own personal relationship with God, and
Yeah.
like, and people will see that in
Because
you.
even within the church, man, there's people who within the church, we be trying to out saved each other. Like,
Yeah.
I'm more saved than you. Like, it's just like, it's too much, man. Like, let God work on us individually. I'll be a good example as to best my ability. And as I change and age and, you know, whatever, like, hopefully I become a better person and have a better impact on the people that I'm around. Like, I feel like if I can do that and, you know, with my kids, I'm probably cool.
You're doing great. 'Cause you got me
Preach.
over here like, where were you? I needed. You know how many times I
Well, here's
needed
the
Jesus?
thing.
I needed him a lot.
I've come around to this. I wasn't always like this. I grew up very Christian, and if you were hell and you were bad and everybody, you know, so as I've grown up, I've kind of like had my own thoughts that weren't necessarily the thoughts that were like instilled upon me. You know what I mean? So had you met me when I was in high school, I'd be like, see, this is where I was hypocritical. I'd be like, you going to hell, and I also was having sex.
Right.
So like, you know what I mean? I
Go
remember
to hell, but before you go, what's your name?
right. Let's do some things first. You know what I mean? I
And then we go
remember.
to church after.
Yeah,
Hey
for
man,
sure.
look, God's not tripping off us having a little sex.
Hilarious.
He's smart. Look, I was always like, I grew up like, God is omniscient. He's watching the world develop and evolve. He's not looking at me like, Tim, you done got a little head. I'm not gonna send you.
over for
I'm not
you.
gonna send you to hell with this man that killed 10 people. I know your heart. You know what I'm saying?
At times like this, I look to a dude that I'm sure most of us look to when anything important is going on. Ja Rule.
I knew it. Where's John?
So
Tell me more.
Ja Rule grew
Ja
up
knows.
Jehovah's Witness, right? His mother got defellowship from Jehovah's Witness. If you
Okay.
don't know what that means, that
Yeah.
means you get kicked out of
Kicked
their
out.
religion. She
Right.
did something, and they were like,
out
"You
of a
can't be here.
religion?
Yeah.
You get shunned."
Like excommunicated.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
okay.
Excommunicated.
She ended up dating a Muslim man. I think like she left the family because dad wasn't defellowshipped or some shit like that.
Oh, snap.
She ended up with a Muslim man. So now Ja Rule knows Jehovah's Witness. He knows the Quran, whatever.
Quran,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he's learning that. Then he goes off to school. He got rich homies kicking it with them at their rich house. Parents are telling them like, hey, do whatever y'all want in the basement. That's y'all's. Spend the night, whatever. Only catch is you gotta go to church on Sunday. They're Christian or something like that. So he got the chance to learn all these different religions and was like, it's all the same shit. It's just different little man-made changes that cause all the beef. So I'm starting thinking, I'm like, man, that makes sense. Religion is stupid. Why am I wrong? Why can't I have the wafer in the grape juice? Just because
it all comes
We
back
are
to the
bringing
wafer.
grape juice and wafers
Right.
for you
It's not
for the
your
next
fault.
pod. It's okay.
To quote
It has to be
Dave,
flavorless.
to quote Dave
Got it.
Chappelle, don't only care about what your rule got to say in a time like this.
Cares what Ja Rule has to say.
Oh man, well shit. Hey Kev, is there anything else you want to leave us with or plug before we go?
No, man. I mean, thank you for having me on. This is super dope. Just follow me, KevOnStage, and if you like the content, follow me. See
Hey,
whatever
follow
you want.
Kev. Kev is a good dude.
Yes, he is.
Kev is a good dude. Follow Kev. Hey, thank you for coming on
My
the
boy,
show, bro. I
appreciate you, bro.
so much, man.
Thank you so much. Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Timothy De La Ghetto.
I'm Ricky Shucks.
And I'm Nikki Blades.
And I'm
This is-
KevOnStage.
Oh,
Y'all didn't let me say my name the first
hold
time.
on. Do we have to do it
And this
again?
is Kev on Stage. This
Thank
is No
you.
Chaser Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.
Too funny. Who gives a fuck?
Hey, that was great.
The royal penis is clean, Your Highness.
Thank you. King shit.